Okay, I just saw War of the Rohirrim, and here's what I thought. If you hear my car's engine going, excuse that. It's freezing out. I need the engine to heat up because I'm shivering. But anyway, the movie was actually better and worse than I thought it would be. So initially I went in, because of the way it was advertised in the States, I went in like thinking, okay, it's Lord of the Rings that happens to be also anime. Don't do that. The other way around, it's anime that also happens to be Lord of the Rings. So tonally, if you've seen the anime Romeo x Juliet, it's akin to that. How Japan adapts Western media, they come out kind of weird, right? So if you go in with that mindset, because I thought it was co-directed, because again, it's kind of advertised as such. I thought it was co-directed with the Japanese director. I forget his name. I think it's Kenji Kamiyama or something like that. He's a huge anime director, one of the biggest, but I cannot remember his name. And Peter Jackson. And I thought Philippa, I forget her last name, was working on scripts. No! It was only directed by the anime director. I thought he was just doing the animation directing, but he directed the whole movie. And then Peter Jackson was one of the executive producers, and then Philippa was another producer, not executive, but she was another producer, I believe. So, made sense when I saw the credits, because it is very anime. I don't know how else to describe it, really. The writing was lacking. The writing could have used some work. Like, characters showed up. I still don't know the name of this one old lady that showed up halfway through and turned out to be an important character, but I don't know her fucking name. I don't know who she is. I know nothing. She just showed up halfway through the movie. There were Oliphants. No reason. They were just there in the beginning of the movie, and then by the second half of the movie, no more Oliphants. It was so stupid. And things like that, of that nature, it was ridiculous. Some of the stuff that could read as woke is fairly normal in Japanese media, so it didn't come off as woke to me, because again, it's actually just the norm over there. Culture differences and all that. Also, it wasn't even done super woke-like. Like, it wasn't tokenism and, like, Mary Sue, necessarily. That's what I mean by woke, by the way. It was, strong women, obviously, that was in the ads. But it wasn't, like, stronger than men. The men were also really strong. Honestly, Helm is now probably my favorite Lord of the Rings character of all time because of this movie. Dude's a beast. And his actor knocked it out of the park. Like, if nothing else, see this movie for that actor's performance. I believe he's an award-winning actor. He was Stryker in X2. I don't remember his name, though. He killed it. He did amazing. He was my favorite part of this movie. The animation was also really good. It was a little weird with the backgrounds being a different style of animation from the foreground. Really, the people more than the foreground in general. But I will say, whoever, was on the animation team for the backdrops and the sets and all that, they understood the assignment. They know that Lord of the Rings is landscape porn, and they were up to the challenge, and they succeeded. It was fantastic. So, yeah, I actually really liked the movie, other than the script being really weird. Plot points showed up and then were gone in, 5 minutes, and let's just say if CinemaSins does a video on this, he is going to have a fun time. Because, again, the script is it's not a good script. It's a really bad script, honestly. But, otherwise, the movie was actually really fun. Again, as long as you go into it thinking anime first, Lord of the Rings second, rather than Lord of the Rings first, anime second. So, that is very important to remember. Again, a lot of the Shield Maiden stuff that was in the ads, they didn't show, for some reason, in the ads, how that whole spiel kind of ended. So, there's a scene that was in the ads where he's like, do you know of the Shield Maidens? Because he's talking to little kids, da-da-da-da-da. And it's it sounds super woke and, oh, they're the best, da-da-da. I'm sure you know what I mean by woke. I'm sure you all know. I know some people don't know how that word is used these days and still think it's just social justice, no, tokenism, Mary Sue. So in the ads, it came off as that, right? In the movie, spoilers, but it continues on to say the reason they were so important is because when there was a battle and all the men, they couldn't fight anymore. So the women who were trained took up arms as the next and final line of defense. And I loved that. I loved that so much. Honestly, in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films, I kind of wish some of the, like, Éowyn should have used her brain and realized, hey, they're leaving all these defenseless people alone here. I'm the only one that knows how to fight. Maybe I should stop arguing and defend them, because we know that we don't have enough men to win this battle. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wish Last Line of Defense made it into that version rather than the girl power thing, even though I loved the girl power thing the way it was written in that. But I loved that addition into this movie. I feel like it makes sense. It's grounded in the Peter Jackson, anyway, universe of Lord of the Rings. I only read the first book so far of Lord of the Rings, so I don't know about the actual Tolkien universe, if it fits in there, but I'd be surprised if it doesn't. I do know more or less Éowyn's arc, that Tolkien wrote it and the way he wrote it, and it sounds like it would kind of fit. So I actually liked that a lot. So yeah, Hedda is the main character, which she's unnamed in the story. That's all I know about this from Tolkien's work, though, is that it's Rohan, I think Isengard, and the princess is unnamed. That's all I know. So if you know more about it, you probably will hate this. If you don't like anime, you will probably hate this. You might be okay with it if you don't like Lord of the Rings, which is weird to say, but if you're not into anime too much, but you do like high fantasy, but you don't really know Lord of the Rings, you might actually like this. If you are a very strict Lord of the Rings fan, however, and you don't really like anime, skip it. If you're neutral on anime and you're super big in Lord of the Rings, you might want to skip it. Everybody else, I think, will enjoy this movie. Again, other than the script, it was hard to follow. I didn't like the script. I'm not going to lie, I really didn't like the script. But everything else, I honestly liked it quite a bit. It was pretty good. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. And like I said, it was also worse than I thought it'd be. Because again, when you have Peter Jackson coming back, but then again, the Hobbits were a flop. So, not a financial flop. I think they were a success, but they sucked. His Hobbit trilogy. So, I don't know. Maybe I expect too much from him. Because I kind of block all of those movies out of my memory. But yeah, with some of the crew from those original trilogy movies, there were tons of Lord of the Rings movies. There's some animated ones from the 70s. There's some before that. There's a VeggieTales one. Like, there's tons. Well, I don't know why we call it original, but Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films. With crew coming from that over to this, I somehow also expected more than I should have. So, yeah. If you like high fantasy, if you like anime, check it out. If you like Lord of the Rings and that's about it, skip it. That's my reaction. Bye.